All right, everyone. Of course, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of the Victorious Ones podcast. Of course, I go by the name of King Von Jr. Of course, for those that are watching by way of Facebook, by way of Facebook or YouTube. Of course, my social media handles are at the bottom of the screen. 301 King Von Jr. On Twitter. Of course, you can follow the show's Twitter at Victory Pod One. I'm also on Instagram at Mr. King Von Jr. Of course, you know the rest. And so, so of course, I'm definitely honored, to have some, pretty special guests on tonight. Like I say, it's only a matter of time. So of course, so as far as that, what I mean. So as far as that, I definitely look forward to to having great discussion and dialogue in terms of some pretty cool topics. So as far as like last week's SmackDown, it was definitely a huge swerve, quite a surprise. To see Asuka have that heel. Well, not really too much of a surprise for Asuka's heel turn, but the way it happened, I think, is really what caught a lot of people off guard. Like the way it happened and where it took place. And just I figured that it was only a matter of time, before Bianca, before somebody got hit with the miss, especially in this case with Bianca. And and I think a lot of people, were calling for, especially online, bringing up videos of NXT Bianca, like back when she was primarily heel. And for those that follow her career, NXT Bianca and main roster Bianca are like night and day. Yeah. So right now, without further ado, I have one of my guests lined up, and so I'm still waiting, in the queue, if you will. And so far, I have one third of Jobber Tears right now, podcast legend. Hope I'm not in an echo or anything. None other than Sir Wilkins himself.
What up, niggas?
What's up?
Sorry.
What's up, man? How you?
What up? I'm so sorry. I'm eating dinner right now, so
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Shoot,
How are you feeling, brother?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Man, life is good. A little hungry. I get the protein in.
Man, don't we all? Don't we all? So like I said, I've reached out to you first, and I see your brother's coming on, and the last one to come on is gonna be Janelle. In fact, I arranged this whole thing as far as like the schedule, with her in terms of coordinating everything. And so, like I said, what's up? So that's
what's going on, brother?
2 out of 3 of the Shield, if you will. So like I said, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I hope there's like no background noise, like an echo or anything on my end or anything like that.
Nah.
So, okay.
You good, black man?
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
No problem.
It says Janelle's device not connected. I don't know what's going on. All right, perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, people without jobs, people with jobs, people without jobs, middle class, upper class. All right, son, you already know. I'm not doing PE3. But anyway, last but not least, it's HR herself. How things going?
Hi. Hello. Really? Eating?
Hey, what's up?
What are you eating?
Spanish food. Roasted chicken.
This is hilarious.
Oh, we had that the other day. But hello.
Hello. Thank you very much for joining. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming on, because I was looking forward to doing this for a while. I'm honored. I appreciate it. And so how's everybody's week been going so far?
It's cool. Okay,
cool.
What did I do this week? I didn't even realize it was Wednesday when I woke up this morning.
Hello. You know what I mean? So that's how fast these weeks go by. It was literally Saturday over here. It was raining, and now blinking it's Wednesday, literally, and which is like insane. And plus, okay, cool, all right. Anyway, Thanks for joining. And of course, I'm not going to keep it long-winded or anything like that. As I said before, and so I appreciate the ways you're able to coordinate all this type of stuff to get together, whatever. But
no worries.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, I actually have the shirt, because I had to dress for the occasion.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
So anyway,
thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So anyway, without further ado, I wanted to know, like, as far as like your the origins and how like Jobbertier started and how y'all met up and how y'all connected and became friends. Obviously, Wilkins and Blacc both are brothers in the way, but I'm talking about how y'all like how long y'all like become friends and been in this type of like circle, whatever.
They always.
So I'll start.
You gonna do it this time? You're gonna do it? Yes.
I'll start this time.
That's a first.
So
he's gonna.
I've obviously known my brother my entire life.
Yeah.
So I've known him since the inception of Mr. Blacc on the planet. So I've known him for a long time. He is the Krillin to my Goku, to say the least. Janelle I've known for over 10 years at this point.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's been a very long and road. So that's how we all know each other. And then wrestling has brought us together like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because without the bread, there's no sandwich.
Hello.
And without the wrestling, there's no Jobbertiers podcast. See the bars I did? Maybe because I'm eating roasted chicken.
Yeah. Yeah. So apparently, like when you're hungry, you actually have better bars and you have more time to drop the mic. So that's always been a question I've always had in terms of like how long y'all have known each other, because I know like last year when Janelle was at the panel for BlurCon, and so I asked the question as far as like what podcast is like what faction or whatever, right? So I did not expect the Four Horsemen answer. And now I understand why. But I always refer back to the DX shirt that y'all had that Stephanie, gave y'all a compliment. And because I was like, that perfectly describes, because no matter what, Wilkins is always the HBK of the group.
No, that is not me. I am the nice. I am Triple H.
That is.
Oh wow. The shirt.
I never lost my smile.
This guy.
So he's the HBK minus the drugs and the drama.
Right. Minus
you could say I'm HBK.
Like
when he found God, maybe.
Okay. 2002 HBK. Okay. So yeah, pretty much post prime HBK, if you will.
Post prime. That was. I think you guys didn't enjoy post.
Well,
non-drug riddled.
Post is athletic prime, if you will. Championships. Post championship HBK. So yeah, I could see that. Blacc would definitely be the Triple H of the equation, and Janelle would be the China of the equation. Now, if it's Wilkins and Janelle together, just both y'all, I could, like in terms of Wilkins would still be HBK, Janelle would be the Triple H in terms of being like the more business minded, if you will. Somebody who needs to be the designated driver in case, things, whatever. You know what I mean? Like in terms of just steering everything in the right direction. Pretty much since especially when since Janelle's doing everything with BattleClub and being being a promoter and whatnot. In fact, I've been meaning to ask you. So, as a promoter or co-owner or whatever of BattleClub, so what are some of the challenges, if you will, that sometimes you may have when it comes to
always be, that's an ongoing project. And not only just communication like within us internally, but just communicating with talent, communicating with non-talent, like just always having some form of communication and trying to all be on the same page. And that sometimes is not always the case. But we truck through it. Also, I don't want to say support, because we've been blessed, I think, on our front to have such a strong community here in just New York in general. But I know we would love to be able to expand and be able to get support from, whether it's from the South, the Midwest, the West Coast, like whatever it is. And just kind of like building more relationships. And sometimes owners always think people are, trying to take something from you and being competitive, and when at times you just want to work together. So just kind of dealing with different egos and dealing with different pride, and also being a female in it, it's just like I'm looking at everybody like, can y'all get it together? Like, so I mean, just I would say those things. But I mean, with every difficulty there's always a reward, and for us it's always been the reward of just having everybody come, and it's always a family vibe at Battle Club. There's no one feels like they're not welcome, and that's always something that we try to push. So it's always a family vibe with us. So I always say that's the highest thing I can always take away, because not every promotion is like that. Not every, and it's may not be their fault, but that's just always going to be our culture with Battle Club. It's just going to always be family. So
absolutely. I definitely see that. So, Blacc, when it comes to being a referee, pretty much a similar question.
It's just like too often, like being a referee is actually is like it's a real skill to it. Like a lot of people don't understand that. Like it takes a lot of skills. Like one of the skills you have to take is you gotta be very self-aware, and you have to be able to like think on your feet at the same exact time. And those are for me, two of the keys to being a referee, because if you two in your head, you can miss a call, because any moment you miss, you could take away from the match, because you make the match not as realistic. But at the same exact time is you cannot overshadow the wrestlers, because just because you have more personality than these wrestlers, you are playing a role in this. Play your role. When your personality is called to outshine, then you do that. But at the same exact time, you still gotta take a step back. And also is just like another challenge that's being a referee is just like you just gotta get the respect of the boys. And some of the boys, they'll just treat you like you're nothing, whatever. But one of the keys to that is always stay your ground. Is always go back to who you are as a person. How you carry yourself outside the ring is definitely important. How you carry yourself in the ring.
Yeah, absolutely. And also one more thing as far as Wilkins, when it comes to being in the ring, have you ever? I know you just had that supposedly one and done type of match, but I doubt that's a one and done. I highly doubt it.
So when it comes to being in the ring, first of all, I'm not a wrestler. I'm an entertainer. Because there's some really good wrestlers out here. I'm more of an entertainer than anything. And I never want to take away from the people who've been doing it a lot longer than I have and who's been at the game a lot. But from my experiences being in the ring and being in matches, there's a lot that goes into it. And I think people forget that. Like, you could be really, really good as a wrestler, like an actual wrestler, and like know all the moves and ups and stuff, and still not connect. And you could be absolutely shits in the ring, and for some reason your match gets over. But you want the complete combination, and it's a lot of work it's a mental grind for these men and women who are in the business.
Yeah.
This is their livelihood. This is what they want to do for the rest of their lives, and it's this beautiful art form that we call wrestling is like the music industry. Like, you got to give up so much. Family, friends, like the money's not crazy. And I've seen it. I've seen some dudes. The promoter be like, not in BattleClub, of course. The promoter be like, oh, House of Glory. The promoter be like, oh, I don't got it today. I don't got it. You'll get it later, or they don't get it at all. And yeah, it's like whatever. The match may be 2 minutes to 10 minutes, or even 15 minutes, but they're putting their bodies on the line. Like, I always tell the story of when I fell on top of my head trying to do a move. Like some people that I know, in like, you know, in the real world, the non-wrestling world, I think it's kind of like the MCU. Like, there's different worlds. So right now we're in the wrestling IWC world. We're in that world. And then when we step out this world, we go back to the real world, which is like the shoot world, which is our shoot job world. So when I go back to the shoot job world, people are like, oh man, this shit is fake. But they're like, no, this shit hurts. This hurts. This is painful. This is not fun. Like, there's guys who've been wrestling for years and they walking funny. Because their hip is not aligned the way it's supposed to be anymore. So it's a gift and a curse, this business.
It is.
And that's what I'll leave you with. It's a gift and a curse.
I agree wholeheartedly. Because, you know, because the thing about it is that I've heard horror stories about things like this. I mean, not just Dark Side of the Ring, obviously, but also just how territorial, even to this day, even though territories are gone, people still have a territorial type of mindset. Like, I don't want you to, take anything off of my plate, and so I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna share my secrets, because I would think that you're, like pretty much similar to some of the stuff that that Janelle was talking about. So when we sharing the BattleClub, stories and stuff like that, as far as promoters, that made me think about it. You know what I mean? So, and also, like I said, just in terms of wrestlers themselves, they give a whole lot to the point where they literally give their body to the game. You know what I mean? Like for example, we talk about guys that walk funny. Case in point, look at Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Look at look at, other than being Hall of Famers.
Shawn definitely got that dip.
Yeah. I mean, like, to the point where his knees are straight up shot. Like, you see him now. Like, I mean, and as far as Taker, like, same with him when he had his Hall of Fame speech, just the way he walks around. Edge lost an entire decade of his career, because of injuries. So so the thing is, like, you really have to, like, it's a gift and a curse. Really kind of count the cost, and, like, is this what I want to, like, I know this is what I want to do, but at what cost to my own body? And so and also another thing I wanted to bring up was, of course, Wilkins and Janelle. I saw you at WrestleMania, at Wally Mania specifically, especially. I was at Mania as well, but I was in a different row. So the thing is, like, so what were your takeaways from it, whether it's Wally Mania, NXT, stuff like that, whatever? Just a few takeaways, give or take.
I guess I can go first. Wally Mania is going to be Wally Mania, so that becomes a little bit of a norm. Like, I've been to the one in Dallas. I went to the one. I didn't go to New Orleans, and I feel like I should have. But New York, when it was here, we all went, and that was an experience in itself. So that's always going to be great, but it's great for the culture because everybody gets to come together. It's almost like the family reunion without being the family reunion. So it's really dope, especially out west. It was my very first time going to LA, California, period. And so, like, to be able to meet Alfred in real life, and him knowing who I am, and meeting people that have supported us and know of us, and we've never been able to meet them because they live on the West Coast. So be able to kind of have those moments, that was dope. Meeting Luke with you when I bumped into y'all at WrestleMania, that
Yeah.
was dope. So like those moments is what you kind of live for. Like you live for like the unknown. Like you never know what's gonna happen. I know Wilkins wasn't able to go, but I went to NXT and I had a blast. I always love what they end up doing and how they present everything. And I was fairly surprised that at 10 o'clock LA time, that arena was filled like to the top. So it was really, everybody had came out and I thought it was super dope. And to see Carmelo win and having that moment, like he deserves that and more. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, night 1, night 2, I left right after Roman won, like literally straight to the airport. So I didn't get to really enjoy the last night of WrestleMania weekend, but overall it was really dope. It was more eye-opening, I think, for us, and I think it motivated us to just know that for next year, with it being in Philly, it being closer to home for us, and us being able to do stuff maybe during that weekend, like it motivated us. So it's always good to get those moments of like, okay, now the wheels are turning. Now we got to go back to work. So it was cool though. It was all right. I mean, LA is not for me, but it was okay.
Yeah, you really have to know how to move, know what you're doing around there. That was my first WrestleMania actually.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was. Like no lie. I was like the first WrestleMania I went to was the first time it was in Dallas. That was like the WrestleMania was like in its infant stages, if you will, like early stages. So I didn't know that, I didn't know what it would end up becoming. But then what got me was normally I would have flown out to LA like that Thursday, maybe that Friday, and just left like that Monday or whatever, right? But because I saw the lineup for WrestleMania, I was like, let me do it early. Then, you know what I mean? So I got my ticket. Like I said, I caught a red eye. Like I said, that Tuesday night, and then going to Wednesday, and then I was just in time for WrestleMania itself. It was great to Janelle. It was great to bump into you, as well as Luke from Cheap Pop Wrestling. I actually interviewed him like 2 or 3 weeks ago or something. You know what I mean? So I actually had him on the show. We talked about that. And just to interact with people that you otherwise would just see online. So like for instance, to run to West Lee at WrestleMania was cool. So like and just different experiences. Like the thing is, I didn't know
Wilkins' ass is fucking eating.
I know, right?
Y'all yeah.
Right now, my man
should have just
hungry.
been me.
Hungry.
No.
I mean, he gave us a heads up. He was hungry anyway. You know what I mean? So I guess, but yeah, like, whenever Janelle comes back. But yes, so as far as that, like I said, that was my very first WrestleMania, and like I said, just the lineup of people that, of guests. Like I said, I was more than more than surprised. I was like I said, I enjoyed it. I didn't know about like the whole like VIP section and stuff like that. Otherwise, otherwise I would have gotten that particular.
What did you like about it the best?
I like the best about WrestleMania. I mean, I like at the end, like when they actually bring Janelle back on. Like I said, I like how how everybody was on stage all at the same time. I love the Big E tribute as far as at WrestleMania. I love that part. That was incredible. That was a complete surprise. Trinity getting her tribute, getting her flowers. Like I said, those are my favorite parts of it. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to see everybody like Omos and the rest of them. Maybe next year, or whatever. But
you coming to Philly?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, it's like 2.5 hours from where I am.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like DC, so it's like anything on our coast, like he's there.
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm actually very excited about Philly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love it. You know what I mean?
I am super actually very excited about what they do in Philly and how they pull it off. And plus it's like so much closer to home, so it's gonna be like Niggaville.
It's not gonna be expensive.
It's not. It's not.
Nah, I don't know about that.
it's
surcharges will be crazy.
It's gonna be. I doubt it's gonna be like almost like a hop, skip, and a jump.
I don't have to get on a flight, so that's what I mean by expensive.
That part, you don't have to blow so much money.
You driving down there?
No, I'm telling to take the train.
Yeah. You can take Amtrak.
Take Amtrak.
You might take it like at least.
You can take Amtrak. You can take New Jersey Transit to SEPTA. Like this, you can take a bus if you feeling froggy.
Right.
But I'm not flying. What sense would it make for a 15-minute flight to Philadelphia?
Why not? Boy,
you got money.
You're alone on that one.
What is the flight to Philly? Let me look this up while we talk.
You actually going? Wow. Okay.
You're alone on that one.
Like,
that's how I feel about people that fly to DC. Like I always think that's weird.
Here,
like why? Like we're literally 2 hours away, and meanwhile I'm like 4 hours away from y'all, so I don't need to take a flight to JFK. You know what I mean?
So the flight from United to Philly.
What, out of Jersey?
It's out of, I don't know where this is at.
What's the code?
It's out of, hold on. It's out of Jersey.
Yeah.
Which is even closer.
Right, and even more obnoxious.
It's 53 minutes.
And it's not really, because they tackle on 30 minutes. So it really is 20 minutes.
But what's crazy is that they all have connecting flights
to DC.
So you're doing a stop somewhere, like in
Connecticut or something?
And it ends up being a 9-hour flight.
No.
What? Wait, where's the layover in DC?
I don't know what the layover is, but it's just fucking. It's hilarious. It's a 9-hour flight.
9 hours.
But moral of the story is, you don't need to fly to Philly, so that's the good part.
You really don't. You really don't, because me flying to LA on my red eye was like 5.5 hours. Like even though you have to cover for like the time change, but technically speaking, like it really didn't take as long, other than, like I said, other than time zone shift and stuff like that. But now as far as NXT, I didn't, because the thing is, I didn't know what the ticket price was going to be for that, so I was kind of like
me and Danny woke up, had breakfast in our hotel, because we stayed across the street from the host hotel, which was unbeknownst to us.
Right.
But we were walking distance to the crypto. And we got breakfast at our hotel, and I had got them tickets that morning. Like I had bought tickets for like $30, not even. Whoa. And we were pretty good. Like I had pretty good seats. So, but that's I'm always like, I buy the ticket day of and not work. Like Mania, I flew into LA with just night 1. I got night 2 the day of.
Wow.
So yeah, no, I'm just different. Don't worry about me.
That's the hookup right there. Because the thing is, had I known with the NXT.
Oh, I like this. I'm looking at Amtrak prices, guys.
I gotta check those out.
I was saying that was cheaper.
But he don't listen. It's only so anyone that's listening and thinking about Amtrak's only cheaper when it's in advance, and very much in advance.
Look,
because
here's the trick.
Amtrak will run up. Amtrak will be more than a flight.
No.
Yeah,
here's a new trick, guys. Here's a new trick. Listen, I take Amtrak a lot. Listen, it's something called like a new program they have. If you take it overnight, you would get from whatever in the East Coast for like $15.
What?
That's the cheat code. Like, look it up around like 12 to overnight. It's going to be cheaper. And it's a program for like, I think there's a pilot program for like the next 2 years. That's the trick.
But
right?
That's a super cheat code. That's
class, though. I like that first class though.
Ooh. That's
Yo,
like
LTR. It doesn't matter.
You don't even need it.
You don't even need that.
Yo, on Amtrak is beautiful. You don't need that. They got you can sit next to somebody.
Listen, I want luxury, ladies and gentlemen.
It is luxury.
No, but like even no. But even like regularly, like, because I just took Amtrak going up to Rochester. Like literally, you could prop your feet up. You got mad legs. You got more leg room than on a flight. They got a food car because your ass like to eat. So they got a whole food car. Like,
what's the
difference
business between first and? Oh, it's not. There's no real difference. It's no real difference.
There isn't.
Other than like
side seating. That's
other than side seating or whatever. It's not too much of a difference. But yeah, leg room, I would definitely need that. You know what I mean? Because because I can't sit nowhere like scrunched up. You know what I mean?
To be honest, if you were to do a trip like any of you guys, let's say you do 9 a.m. on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
The most expensive it will be for first class is like $184, but $76. If you do earlier than that, it's $20.
Told you.
Mm-hmm.
If you book now, basically.
Right.
Yeah, no, like the earlier the better, because then they start ended up being flight prices, and it'd be crazy.
Yeah, and see that's why that was my whole thing going into this year's WrestleMania, because I was like, look, I was like, you know what, I can't take no chance, can't take no other chances, because I was looking all over for WrestleMania tickets, and like the prices were getting pretty crazy for both nights. Like, so I was like, you know what, let me just go and find like just some type of night. I was like, you know what, forget about it. Let's go ahead and go for night 2. So what happened was I used the discount code from SeatGeek. From Blacc announce table, and so that was the first time I ever used that. You know how they had the $20 off. Shout out to them for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the $20 off your first order. I was like, let me go ahead and cash this in right now. Apply it. I did this during the holidays, like during Christmas. No lie.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That's probably the best time to get it, though. Actually.
Yeah, because the thing is, I did not want to take an unnecessary gamble and find myself coming up short, because after, all right, real side note, real quick, I'm not gonna hold this up any further. The thing is, what happened was, remember after WrestleMania 20, the pandemic WrestleMania, when they did the rollout and started promoting 3 straight WrestleManias in advance, where they had the little the previews where they had Sasha and Roman and commercial stuff like that. 37 was Tampa Bay. 38, I knew I wasn't going there. I don't care, because you know who was hosting. So I was like, that was out for me.
To Hogan for Terry?
Yeah, I was like, ain't
nobody was. Listen, I was there, poncho and all. Ain't nobody care about Terry, okay?
No,
we was outside in the rain, and ain't nobody even care. Everybody was actually cheered for whatchamacallit, Titus, because he's from Tampa. Yeah. So everybody was like cheered for him. Ain't nobody would listen. That is not the don't let Terry be your reasoning of not doing stuff, because he don't push no weight over here.
No, he don't.
Because I totally forgot until you just said it. I was like, oh shit, you was there. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Because the thing I remember is every time he got the microphone, they booed him right away.
Yeah.
Each time, like immediately. Like, you think Dominic is bad? No, it's worse.
And you gotta understand, that was a half empty arena. Like everything opposite, like TV side, the lower bowl was the only thing filled. Everything up and higher on that side wasn't with people. Because they were still trying to set social distancing, but like how can you do that in a stadium? That don't make no sense. But they had like cardboard cutouts and stuff, and replacing of people in seats. So
that's hilarious.
He got booed with half of a stadium.
I love it, and also like with the Bianca Sasha match, obviously for night 1, and also especially with Roman with the iconic double stack pin. You know, those are my takeaways from 37. But like anyway, other than that, like I said, the 37 was promoted. 38 was in Dallas. It wasn't the cards for me to go to Dallas again at that point. But 39, I was like, if nothing else, I'm hitting that one. I'm getting that one. I'm going for 39 in LA. And so I was like, you know what? Let me go. Like I said, I just stayed ready for that one. And plus, I'd actually been to Los Angeles before a couple of times. Like, but this is like when like for family, because my sister used to live out in LA, right? So I was like, you know what? This would have been my first time going on my own, right? And so I was like, all right, cool. Let me go ahead and do this. Get this out the way. Before I wouldn't have too many opportunities. Later on. And so it was like both for WrestleMania and also just for the experience in and of itself. Like, I went to see the Hollywood sign. I went to the Hollywood Walk of Fame on Hollywood and Vine. At the time that you were at Stand and Deliver, I was actually over at the Superstore, and all like I said, just in downtown LA and stuff like that. And so the thing is, had I known that the NXT tickets were gonna with the prices.
They had dropped.
I would have gone.
Mania ain't dropped like that, but
not
We
Mania.
still made it work.
I knew Mania wasn't going to drop, but like I said, had I known about the NXT thing, I definitely would have gone. Now this, like I said, each time I've been to WrestleMania, the funny thing is Roman has been the main event.
I know.
And each time he's won.
Put the ones up. Put the ones up.
And see, this was big for me because at 32, I think, as you said before, Janelle, that's back when Roman couldn't talk. And
yeah, because that was him and Trips Did him that solid. I was there. That was the first time I went to Dallas.
I was there as well. I had the standing room only section, so I was like right where the
in the middle.
In the middle.
He was in the middle of the arena because that's where we were right before Austin came out. We went to the concession because we was like, all right, cool, the match over, nothing really crazy is gonna happen, and then you heard the glass shake, so we ran back to our seats.
Yeah. So like I was there for when Austin, HBK, and Foley were out there with New Day. So I was there for that one. This is my second WrestleMania out on Los Angeles, and I'm glad I made it to see Roman win because I was like, look, I'm supporting Roman. There's no way he's gonna end up losing at a time like this. So if nothing else, I was like, I came, I saw, and conquered. So that's all in one time. But like I said, that was an amazing experience. So what are your predictions on Night of Champions? For Night of Champions?
Let me pull the card up because I don't know what's.
When is it? It's not this week, right?
No, it's next Saturday at 1:00. Our time because it's in Saudi. They got the contract signing for Becky and Trish on Monday, so that match is happening. Mustafa Ali did the unthinkable last night on Raw, so he's gonna face Gunther for the IC title. You have Roman and Solo versus Sammy and KO. You have the finals in the World Heavyweight, so you got Seth and you got AJ. And you got Cody and Brock too. I like that Brock is on this trilogy kind of like movement. I'm here for that because he just did the same thing with Roman, so I think that's pretty dope that he's in this space where he can stick with a story. Like I like that for him.
Nah, bro. I mean, Brock. Yo's been like that. You know, he had his trilogy with Undertaker. He had his matches with Kurt Angle.
But that's like early, bro. Like I'm talking about more now. Like the last few feuds he's had. But that's more recent. But the Kurt and stuff was when he first came.
Right.
No, I said Seth Rollins.
No, I know that, but before you said Kurt, and Kurt was earlier.
Yeah. So it's a recent like him and Seth Rollins. They had beef for a while. It was him versus
Roman.
Him versus Roman, and I'm really thinking about it.
Undertaker
McIntyre
in between that, yeah.
Oh, dry ass Drew.
Oh gosh.
Brock Lesnar. So nah, he has some trilogies.
Yeah, I'm glad I forgot about that one. That was a
good people gotta realize Brock
works.
He works. Brock, like if you look at Brock's like dance partners, he's got a pretty nice gallery of dance partners. Whether it's Kurt Angle, Taker, Roman, Seth. Now you can add Cody to the collection. If you want to throw Bobby in there, you know, like for however people feel about that right now.
They still on they gotta finish that.
Yeah, they gotta finish that. They definitely that's that. You want to talk about finishing a story? That's something. That's one that you definitely gotta finish. So. Also, I meant to ask, how'd y'all feel about Brock beating Omos?
For me, I like it. It's because it's like, all right, this is how she Omos. He's not supposed to be good. Like he's supposed to be a young giant. So at first, you're gonna beat the young giant at first. You understand? So each match, you notice that it takes more and more and more. And after the match is done, they like tired. They beat up. They go, oh my God. Dang, I went through a roller coaster. Yeah. You feel me? So to me, him, who's the Brock, it makes sense. Because now when you circle back around, it's going to be unstoppable. He's going to manhandle on me. He's going to toss Brock. But to me, I love it. Love it.
Yeah. You know, and plus, especially since Omos already had the endorsement from guys like Kevin Nash and Undertaker in terms of what they see in them. So, you know, and the thing is, people may hear that and be like, yeah, whatever, you know, like, you know, may take that for a grain of salt. But the thing is, they don't just, certain guys, they don't just, you know, just give support like that just to anybody. If they see, if certain guys, if they see something in you, then apparently something must be working. They see things in Omos that the IWC clearly doesn't see. You know
or that they don't want to see.
Or they don't want to see.
Or that they quick to say, oh, he can't do this, or he can't do that. And when you think about all the big men in the business, they have had less than 5 moves, all of them. So I don't, that whole concept of, oh, he's just big, what are they going to do with him? The way that even the Brock and Omos thing, just live and in color, was just so dope. And it was dope for the both of them because it wasn't a squash. They told a story, and they were both in a dance that worked. And Brock low-key was the underdog in the match.
Which is crazy.
Which is wild.
They're building up Omos really nicely.
Yeah.
And I do think that he just doesn't fit modern-day wrestling fans' outlook on wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not. Because,
I think that's where Brock is.
Well, yeah, because he's not flipping and going through tables and all type of shit. You know,
exactly.
He's not doing that.
But the thing about it is, they do have big men that do that, and they still don't like them. Like
correct.
Luchasaurus, I think that Luchasaurus is a great wrestler for what he does, and I like Brian Cage. What do you do? They shit on him all the time. So the damn you do, you damn you want. You feel me? Oh, I don't like spooky wrestling. You love Undertaker, and you love Sting and Dan Housen.
Well, Sting wasn't really spooky though.
Sting wasn't really spooky though.
Boy, whoa.
You were scared of Sting. You were scared of Sting.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you how Sting was spooky. He didn't speak for a year, King. Not for a whole year. He had like a vulture with him, B. And yo,
no, he didn't speak for a whole year because he was socially awkward.
Hello.
Spooky.
He was socially awkward.
He spoke with his body language, but he wasn't spooky.
Yeah. The thing about it is,
actions speak louder than words.
It was spooky for that time. For that time, he was a weirdo.
No, not really as spooky as Taker and them putting Stephanie on a cross, or hanging Boss Man from Hell in the Cell. We not gonna go there.
Like my personal favorite. Yeah, my personal favorite when Undertaker got buried alive, and then he went to heaven.
Oh my gosh.
No, or let's talk about the night after he won WrestleMania 14 when he beat Kane, and Kane ended up coming out with the caskets of the parents. Yeah. You telling me WCW was doing that? No.
Come on, no. They weren't.
You know what WCW had? They had like 50 dudes in the cage stacked up on each other, and like Macho Man Hogan played video games with everybody.
The only spooky I will give them is that match that Sting and Vampiro had in that fucking graveyard. The only thing I would be like, yo, that was wild.
That was crazy. But
the only thing I'll give Sting. But other than that, Steve is okay.
Yes.
Sting was Sting.
Don't say that. Don't say nothing else.
Sting was Sting. There you go. You know, it's so like, because the thing is, it's not like Taker having very loud matches and boiler room brawl matches with Mankind and stuff. So
my man tried to embody. He tried to take Austin's organs and shit.
Tried to embalm Austin. He tried to embalm him, and not only that, but like he had him on the Taker symbol. I was like, come on now, like, you can't get nothing spookier than the Ministry of Darkness.
That is
Taker.
You can't do that right now, V.
They went all the way, ripped the envelope open with that one. I was like, but the thing is, but of course, back to Omos. So for the people that complain about him, let me ask you this: you like Andre the Giant, don't you? You call him a legend, don't you? You hold him in high regard, right? Last time I checked, Andre had maybe 2-3 moves. Okay, so everybody has that, right? Everybody has, even big or small, have like 5 or 6 go-to moves, right? Undertaker had his share. Cena, obviously. Austin, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean? So it comes with the territory. So like a lot of it comes, a lot of that comes with the go-to stuff that's really going to get the crowd going. And as you all know, in WWE, less is more. So Omos, as long as he's, because the thing is, clearly he's checking off the right boxes, and the IWC is in denial over it. You know what I mean? So so it's just like whatever.
The one thing that a lot of people don't understand, I tried to cut you off. I was going to add this, like, a lot of people don't understand when you're a tall person in wrestling, it's very hard to adjust to the footsteps.
Yes.
Because literally, Omos can just step 1 foot forward and then he's on the other side. No, they have to teach you how to run the ropes properly that looks good on television. And people do forget, Omos is probably one of the greatest big men because, he went from, people forget, he was a tall ninja, he was a bodyguard, and then he became AJ partner, and then he got
and won the titles.
A tag champion.
And won the titles at WrestleMania.
A tag team
champion. Let that be clear.
I mean, Omos has had a pretty solid career so far.
He has.
Very solid.
And the people in the back like him.
Definitely. He's likable. That's the most important thing. And like more and more, I don't really mention this other promotion, but shout out, like I said, I believe that Black Wrestling hit around the mark when they had Omos ranked ahead of Keith Lee.
Say that again?
What?
I believe that so far, based on what we've seen so far in terms of where Omos is and where Keith is, I think when Black Wrestling did their BRP, we're gonna get to listen in a minute. I like more and more. I see that their evaluation was right as far as putting Omos ahead of Keith Lee on that list. So
I mean, it
yeah.
makes sense. I mean, Omos been on TV more. Keith Lee been like out of television for like a million years. Keith Lee been very inconsistent with his look. He been inconsistent on AEW television. Yeah, of course. That's no brainer. Whoever disagrees don't watch wrestling.
Keith Lee is collecting a check.
Collecting a check. That's it.
He woke up.
I'm here for the 2 check households, though. I'm always here for that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I ain't mad at that at all.
They did the whole wrestling seal proof by pairing him up with Goldust, because Goldust love black people. So wait a minute. Whoa. So the real pioneer of Save Us from Racism, they gotta be Goldust.
Dustin himself.
Dustin Rhodes.
He's a real.
I mean, he had to walk so Cody could run.
Hello.
Come on now.
Let's exactly.
Come on now.
Let's keep the same energy for Cody that for Dustin that y'all have for Cody. Why not?
Come on,
let's keep that
Super side note: if y'all have not watched that biography of Dusty Rhodes, I highly recommend doing that.
It's good
because it. So like how like a lot of these like people be like, I know the story already, I know this, but there was certain things in that episode, like just seeing like how Dustin and his sister grew up very different than Cody and his sister, and that dynamic, and how now they're trying to all work together for Dusty's foundation, and they all made a pact saying they all have to do it together. Like it's not so much really, it's about Dusty, but it really isn't. And that's kind of like the dopeness of it, where you see it from all different sides and people that were involved. So I highly recommend A&E biography.
I highly recommend it as well. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen it as well. It was very well executed. It was absolutely amazing. And the funny thing about it is that Dustin and Cody are 16 years apart from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, as I told you about my sister that used to live in California, her and I are 16 years apart from each other. She's older than I am. Yeah. Literally 16 years apart from each other. So I was like, yeah, there's certain, parallels that's in that aspect. But like when it came to telling Dusty's story as far as like NWA and stuff like that, in terms of like, imprint that he left, I was like, I've seen it. I like how they told that story. Instead of it just being like, pro WWE smear campaign type of thing, because let's be honest, with some of those documentaries felt very smearish, hit jobbish type of thing. Some of them kind of did. I ain't gonna lie. Savage one. Ultimate Warrior definitely. Well, that's been pretty consistent all across the board. But I ain't gonna lie. That's been a kind of like a running consistent story all across the board.
He's not a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Warrior was.
You say he's not a good. Well, he's not alive anymore.
Yeah,
so
Warrior was a pariah. Like when it came to when it came to the locker room, when it came to people that I mean, if you just look at Dark Side of the Ring and everything else, it's a pretty common thing. But yeah, like and also I wanted to, and back to like the Night of Champions thing with speaking of championships, new belt design. What are some of your favorite belt designs in terms of like favorite titles?
Ooh.
Mine are.
How you gonna say ooh and not go?
Right.
Oh.
Mine are.
At least you got to think about it.
I love the big gold belt. I love that one. I love the white IC title. I think the streets forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I like the spinner belt. I probably was the only
You're not. And I tell Mikey that all the time. That spinner belt is hard.
Yeah. It is. It really
Only
is.
on John Cena, it's hard.
Yeah, when everybody else, because that was just like when Austin did the smoking skull, was just like, but this isn't gonna work for everybody. So why did y'all do this?
Exactly. And the fact that they kept that design for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Come on now.
They knew that man was gonna win the title a bunch of times, and they're gonna change that belt a bunch of times. They're gonna put it right back on him.
It was a money maker. But because the thing about it is that, and the fact that Punk had that belt for 434 days. So basically, John Cena let you borrow his belt for over a year, pretty much.
And then got fucked by Rocky, but that's neither here or there.
Exactly.
He didn't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what?
Punk didn't deserve that, and you know that.
We know that.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that they should have did that. Like, cause that
he doesn't deserve anything good.
That was the beginning of the end.
CM Punk doesn't deserve anything.
Speaking of belts,
good.
The white straps.
Oh well, that's my favorite one is the wing, but that's because it's old. But I'm not really big on merch. Merch ain't really my soul. Like belts and stuff ain't. And they don't. I'm not pressed about them.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was asking, Wilkins and Blacc is talking about the Night of Champions.
We get album that we won.
Okay. Okay. Oh wow, nice. That's a pretty nice one that you got right there.
It's a custom.
Yeah, actually.
I could tell.
Thanks, Blue.
That's right. So all right, yeah. This I like I said, this is why I've been looking forward to doing this interview, because I know how how y'all go with the flow when it comes to like the type of culture that y'all have as far as a podcast, right? And so I was like, I was like, I gotta have them on, because like I support the brand. I ain't gonna lie.
I appreciate it.
No, we appreciate that, because people will always say I support, and granted, support doesn't always have to be monetary,
right?
But so we appreciate any form of support, because you don't have to. It's a choice. So
absolutely, like everything in life, and also the funny thing is like the way that the views have been going up. I've been getting like the most interactions out of like any episode that I've done or any guests that I've had on, and so I greatly appreciate that. And so
no problem.
But another thing is I wanted to bring up, since we're talking about factions, if you had to make your own faction, so like dream faction, if you will, kind of like fantasy booking, who would you have in your group?
You already have the greatest faction of all time already made, and that's the Bloodline. The ones up.
If you remove Bloodline, then what is what the question is?
Right.
Oh. Is that possible? To remove it from my brain?
Yeah.
Okay, all seriousness, I would have Roman, my top guy.
Okay.
I would have Mark Henry.
Okay.
That's mad random.
It's mad random, but it's mad. But this is my group.
This is my group. Black, so you know what's up.
I would have that, and Edge and Christian.
Tag team.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have my enforcer, my pretty boy leader, and I got my duo.
You're annoying.
Black homo.
Just know that.
Oh my god! Now they got me thinking.
Oh my!
Oh,
titles, B. Mine is legendary Hall of Famer.
Oh,
Hall
man.
of Pain.
I mean, listen, man. I guess
the fake retirement. Yeah.
Fake retirement, exactly.
Yay.
The pseudo retirement. Anyway. Yeah, Mark Henry's like super random on that.
I have to say the person to lead my faction is, I hate that he's barely in wrestling, but it got to be, there is Lockhart. He's gonna lead my faction. I need a young hungry black man to lead my faction, and of course I gotta have enforcers. Moose. Nice, tall, underrated. No one talks about him. My guy Moose.
No,
of course.
people don't talk about him.
Yes, I know. Of
Okay.
course.
Everybody. Oh, yeah.
As long as that was the disclaimer on that one, it was like
Yeah, as long as you don't fly from the trash can, whatever.
I gotta get FTR. One of the FTR and I really I just want him because I know that people just gonna get pissed off eating in the group. Luchasaurus. It doesn't be people like, I don't like these together, but they work. Like, it's gonna work.
Wow. So you got any ideas, Janelle?
This is hard because I really don't know. But and then he threw me off naming from every promotion, so I was thinking here like, what the fuck?
Right.
But if it was, I'm gonna just stick to WWE because my brain will not go any further right now. But you know what? Super side note: if WWE ever decided to somehow get Cody, AJ, and Finn on the same team and really try to do Bullet Club the right way, I wouldn't be against it. Not to say I'm really big on Bullet Club, but I just feel like the pieces are there. The pieces are there to do it. But no, I would do Cody.
Wow.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So it's wild. I would do Cody. I would do Von Wagner. I would do. There's a reason though. I would do maybe Chad Gable. So I love me some Chad Gable. Oh, I would do Alpha Academy. Because you always need, that's the thing with factions. You always kind of need a big man, low key. Like you need a big man, you need a technical person.
And y'all calling me crazy of having Mark Henry on my thing.
I didn't call you crazy at all. I just said we already know with the fake retirement how that's gonna roll. That's what I said.
Yeah.
But no, it would be dope to like if Cody was ever to kind of do a remix on Evolution. And the reason why I had mentioned Von Wagner is because a lot of people don't know he's second generation. So like his dad used to wrestle for the E back in the day. Yeah, so that's why like when people are like talking about like, oh, what was he doing in the Battle Royal? He's a free agent, so he could be on both shows. So that's the first thing.
Right. That's good.
But yeah, he's second generation. So I think it would be dope if Cody was to take just a group of guys and elevate them.
That's a good one. As far as mine, I'm thinking Roman, either Orton or Shawn Michaels. And as far as tag team, probably Usos. Just in terms.
I like it. I fucks with it.
I like it.
Yeah. So like just off the top of the head, I was like, because I was thinking New Day, but I wanted to get more Usos because that would fit the vibe better. So like I said, it was like Roman, Orton, HBK, and Usos. So that would be that'd be my faction right there. So I'm throwing everything at the wall. And one more thing I wanted to get into, because we're talking about lists. I've shared mine. It's been going been making the rounds, if you will. I sent Janelle.
Well, we got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go shoot for it. What y'all think about it?
Sting's too high.
Oh my God.
Sting is too high.
Too high.
Her angle's too low.
Okay.
This is my opinion.
Okay.
The reason why I do see why you put Sting there is because of his cultural impact. Because these niggas be love. Because these mother effers be loving Sting, boy.
Oh yeah.
But that was my only thing. You could argue Bruno Sammartino deserves to be in the top 10. Over Sting and over Triple H because of what that 19. The thing about Bruno Sammartino, you ever hear when people talk about like how like people around our age and older be like, you had to go to the store to buy a record.
Yeah.
And it took a lot more to get somebody to go and buy a record of yours. Bruno Sammartino, and I wasn't there, so I don't get the cultural impact.
Right.
But I hear the stories, and I hear like older people who still watch wrestling, who was massive wrestling fans, say that he would pack out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
For his like he was that draw. Like we talk about draws. Bruno was him.
He was.
Yeah.
And the cultural part was that he was Italian. Know what I mean? Like he was Italian, so like it's like when Kofi was champion or when Big E was champion for us.
Yeah.
He's that guy. Like he was the culture. You know what I mean? So I think that's why I would want Bruno a little bit higher. And listen, this is your list.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it at all. Just remember that.
Yeah, thank you.
It's your list. It's a great list. But I would have my man Bruno a little bit higher because maybe in the top 10, maybe bring Triple H down and put Bruno up there. But I just like because what Bruno did. Bruno was like was one of the first mega superstars in the business.
He was. That's the thing, and see that went into my criteria because the thing is you gotta look at cultural impact. So he checks off that type of box. He's a major draw for his time, even though we weren't there to see it. So as you said before, because the thing about it is that I take into account just like I do with the NBA in terms of like documentaries, firsthand accounts, and different type of stories. So that's why you got guys like Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, whatever rank as high as they rank on the NBA side. So I apply the same type of thing similar to when it comes to wrestling. And so and plus the fact that Bruno's first reign was 7.5, 8 years, and that's still the record. You know what I mean? So so as far as that, like I said, you factor those type of things, and Sting cultural impact as well. So guys who are like top draws or whatever, combined with wrestling ability, that's why my top 5 looks the way it does, right? And plus the thing about it was I've seen lists even far worse than this. Like I've seen stuff where people just look like, did you just throw it together on the wall? So I was like, you know what? And plus, shout out to BRP, they even said themselves, if you don't like something, just make a list, right? And so I applied the same thing. I was like, look, let me go and make it because I've seen lists way worse than this. I was like, now I gotta do something different. Because the thing is, I've actually done this list before, but I did it before Roman and Seth became who they became, right? And so I was like, you know what? Since their career's been playing out the way they did, let me go ahead and revise it and like legitimize it, right? And so so a lot of that type of stuff, title reigns, your impact as a champion. That's why I had Edge ranked where he is. You know, because the thing is, you gotta look at it like this. I want to get Janelle's thoughts on as well. But like the thing is, a guy like Edge, you could be an 11-time world champion, but if your title reigns combined on like 200 days or something, that ain't exactly the best look. So it's just like it's kind of like it's pretty dicey at that point, you know. So like I said, that's why I have people ranked the way they are. Who's gonna say no to Austin being number 1? Who's gonna say no to Shawn Michaels being in the top 5? You know what I mean? So yeah. So Janelle, do you got any thoughts on?
I don't
know. I don't know. That whole Austin being number 1 though, Austin's kind of like top 10 for me. He's not number 1 for me. So it's very interesting. I mean, it just, when it comes to these lists, it really is the criteria. So like if there's certain criteria that particular person is making with their list, then you gotta respect that and they're all subjective. So it's not even like this is the big end all or be all. So that's why when people get in their feelings and start tweeting like take me off a list, it don't make sense because it's like subjective. What are we talking about?
Like Swerve?
Yeah.
And Moose?
You know?
Yeah. Those
Moose? You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So those type of situations.
Yeah. So like I said, even though I don't have the type of audience that they have, but the thing is, because the thing about it was that I wanted to like re-release it release this list in my own words, in my own criteria, because my criteria is very similar. I use the same type of criteria, but in my own type of way. So I have my own type of like way to gauge things. I talk to other people as well. So the thing is, like, because thankfully I haven't had anybody tweet at me. I haven't had like Edge or whoever come, Jericho, whoever, say take me off the list. Thankfully, you know what I mean. So
imagine.
That would be lit though, low key.
If I am Jericho, came like, yeah, why am I number 15? Because you are.
You just are.
Saying the insult is better than having you at number 25 on WWE's list. But that's none of my business.
I would have just swapped Sting and Macho, but that's neither here or there. That's subjective. It's fine.
Hey, like I said, because the thing is, you can swap either one of them out. And also make sure that that things went, kind of like in a sequence, if you will, sometimes.
But your list was more like kind of, it gave me old school vibes. I'm not gonna hold you because you had Billy Graham on here, you had Luthez. I was like, oh, you got Buddy Rogers, you had Jake, and you had, so like you took it back. Like when you showed me the list, when I looked, I said, "There's a lot of old niggas on here." Oh shit!
I was like, "Dang!"
I was like, "Do I not know?" It's like, am I missing something? But no, I love that it was diverse in that way.
No, it was a good list. It's a really good list.
It was a very good list.
I greatly appreciate it. Because if anything, that's like, not to sound like it's stroking the ego or nothing, but that's anybody who puts in the type of time and work that we put in. You want to hear stuff like that. You want to at least get the respect of your peers. And so, because the thing is, even though it's subjective, I don't just just throw random stuff on the wall, just for the sake of getting interactions, right? So I want to make sure it's straight to the point. So I really appreciate your feedback. And so, because it was very similar to how I did my NBA list. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's a way to appreciate those who came before, just embrace the future that's present, future that's here right now, like the Romans and Seths and Daniel Bryan or whatever. And so, like I said, in terms of that, so it's like covering all eras wherever, right? And so that was my thing. I was like, you know what? Let me go and just put this story out my own way, because I had this mapped out since last year.
Holy shit!
Yeah, exactly.
Billy Graham
just
passed away.
Oh,
wow!
Yeah. Yeah, he been sick for some time though. He was on life support. They had said earlier this week. So
he was on life support.
Wow. R.I.P. Billy
the
Graham.
R.I.P. Billy Graham. Just spoke about him.
Who Hogan stole from, or whatever.
Hogan stole from a lot of people, so we not gonna go there.
Copy and paste from a whole bunch of people.
But you know what? At least I will give Terry some credit because he definitely said in that biography, he said I took Billy Graham and Dusty and I put them together. So he admitted that he did do that.
Yeah.
I give him that.
Listen. It's like what Drake does. He sees something that inspires him. Like, remember when Drake was Jamaican?
Oh gosh. Okay. Appropriation. Okay, you know what? Yeah. You know what? Okay.
Okay. How is that appropriation? So why is that bad for Drake to be fake Jamaican, but yet American people could be fake Jamaican? What's the difference?
I mean, one's no better than the other. You know what
I mean? Listen, I will never forgive the E for making Kofi do that Jamaican shit. I can't stand with that. I can't stand for that.
That was on him. That was
so stereotypical. Like
that.
You know what?
That was on everybody. That was on everybody.
All across the board. That was on everybody like that. Yeah, that was
because they thought it was gonna make it relatable, and it was just like,
huh?
Even Kofi himself was like, I don't have an ounce of Jamaican in me. Like he basically said on a Rosenberg interview, like, nah, there's nothing. No, he's like, I'm from Ghana, West Africa, but not Jamaican. Mm-hmm. So the fact that WWE is so tone deaf about that. So yeah. So anyway, without further ado, thank you very much for
no problem, brother.
A part of this.
My bad. My coworker just walked in. Okay, they always do in my office.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. So like I said, I appreciate you.
Bullshit.
Absolutely. Come on now. But yeah, so what are the things that you have, planned in the summer, in the future for 2023 and beyond?
Well, we got Jobber Sam 3 coming up July 29th. New Jobber City is the theme off of New Jack City, so we're super excited. Hopefully the graphic will be out before the end of the month. Like we're working on some stuff. The plan, knock on wood. So unfortunately, actually the convention part will actually not be happening, but the show will still be going on. So June 17th, let's do the fight thing. I can't forget what it is. Do the fight thing 2, June 17th. So tickets are on sale now for that. The show will start. We moved up. Bell time is at 5. So where we have for the main event, we have Yaya defending his franchise title against Calvin Tankman. We have Zuka King, first time ever facing Brian Keith. We have Steve Payne defending his 5 points against Alex Kane of MLW. So we got a lot of heavy hitters coming for the June 17th show. So that's June 17th, and then Java Sam will follow that July 29th. The plan right now is not definite, but the plan is for all of us to actually be in Detroit for SummerSlam, which is going to be the week after Jobber Slam, oddly enough. So the plan is for all of us to be in Detroit for SummerSlam weekend. So if you're in the Detroit area or you're going to SummerSlam, look out for us. We'll keep you posted on that. We're working on that. And that's about it for the summer. Yeah, Jobber Slam is really the kickoff. You may see some returns. You may see some new faces. So we're really excited to be doing this the 3rd year in a row. And it keeps getting bigger and bigger. So it's pretty dope to have, like, that's our baby. So we're really proud of it, and we're glad that everybody can come and support. So but once again, tickets on sale for June 17th show is currently, and then the day after will go on sale for Jobber Slam 3. So just make sure to get your daddy and them some tickets. So
yeah.
But other than that, Val, we thank you. Like you mentioned, you supported us, whether I said, monetary or physically. Like you showed up, and that says a lot to you. So we're always here for you. Anything you need for the podcast or whatever it is, we're
Let us
always
know.
here. So we thank you for having us on your show, but we don't get to be on someone else's show. So we thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Vaughn.
Oh, definitely.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean? I greatly appreciate it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, like it's all about supporting the brand. And like if I see something in somebody, I will, like I said, I would definitely put everything behind it, whether it's
Thank
not just
you.
monetary, but my time as well. So the
Thank
brand
you,
that
thank
you're
you.
building is absolutely incredible. Like I
Oh,
said, you know,
and also we haven't gotten the fully confirmed, but the plan is for us to be at BlurCon too as well.
oh yeah,
So
definitely, yeah.
stay
So
tuned for that.
yeah,
Thank you.
I
The
look
goal is for
forward
all
to
three of us to be there. So we're working on that.
I'm glad you came at the one last year. So, but yeah, so like I said, you know, it's been an honor, it's been a privilege. As always, like I said, no matter what, like you know, if
Thank
anything,
you.
I know who to reach out to.
That was my first time. I've never been to that.
Oh really? Oh yeah. So yeah, so that was my second time. So like, and plus BRP is going to be there. So I've been, you know, been hearing that they confirming for that as well. So you know what I mean. So like I said, I look forward to that panel. But yeah, like I said, you know, I'm not gonna hold y'all up, whatever. But like I said, once again, as always, and the thing is, you know, if I don't make it to, you know, to any one of those, at least there's BlurCon and maybe like when those wrestling girls have their, you know, anniversary once again, 5 years coming up. You know, like I said, that was a great time. So, and also WrestleMania in Philly. So, you know what I mean? So, and, you know, pretty much nothing else.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time, man. It's gonna be a really, really good time.
All right.
All right.
So like I said, on that note, thank you very much for chiming in. As always,
Peace.
peace. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a great evening.